This is the sanitized image of South Korean military service presented to the world. It is a vision of honorable conscription, often personified by K-pop idols and actors serving their country with pride and discipline. The hit series DP shattered this facade. It shifted the national conversation away from the soldiers standing in formation and toward the ones desperately climbing over the barracks walls to escape. We followed the Deserter Pursuit Unit, a specialized team of active duty soldiers who work undercover. They wear civilian clothes, grow their hair out, and navigate the city like private investigators to track down AWOL personnel. The momentum of a high-stakes manhunt serves as a lens to view the systemic rot hidden behind the military's manicured public image. The story begins with the familiar rhythm of a detective procedural. There are stakeouts, phone traces, and intense foot chases through narrow urban alleyways. However, the investigation quickly reveals that the fugitives are not criminals or spies. They are not dangerous masterminds trying to evade justice. They are ordinary young men. They are terrified recruits who have been pushed to a psychological breaking point by the very institution they were forced to join. Look at the intensity in this training exercise. This high-pressure environment is designed to strip away individuality. For many, the transition from civilian life to this rigid hierarchy is where the initial breakdown begins, long before the physical abuse even starts. The series forces a shift in perspective. The tension moves from the mechanics of the capture to the disturbing reasons these men felt they had no choice but to run. To find a deserter, the agents must profile them by reconstructing their past. They have to inhabit the target's mind to predict their next move. This profiling involves interviewing families who believe their sons are simply becoming men. It means reading private diaries and confronting commanding officers who view the soldiers under them as replaceable numbers. The deeper the agents dig, the more they find a reality of normalized sadistic hazing and extreme violence. They uncover a world where physical and sexual humiliation are tools used by senior soldiers to maintain a brutal hierarchy. Commanding officers often facilitate this environment. They actively hide reports of abuse to protect their own careers, ensuring that the appearance of order remains intact while the individuals inside the system suffer. This investigative process reveals that the deserters are victims fleeing an active crime scene. The moral clarity of the hunt is replaced by the realization that the hunters are returning victims to their tormentors. The protagonist faces a moral crisis as the pursuit of fugitives transforms into a witness to institutional failure. These officers standing guard at a public station represent the inescapable reach of the military. For the DP unit, doing their job correctly means acting as the enforcement arm that drags a victim back into a cycle of violence. The agent confronts his role as a localized enforcer for an abusive machine. He is no longer an outside observer. He is an active participant in the system's preservation. The agents change. They begin as enforcers of the law, but they end as traumatized witnesses, carrying the weight of the stories they were sent to silence. The weight of the story comes from the realization that this honorable duty demands participation in a cycle of inescapable violence. The military institution operates on a weaponized culture of silence. The abuse the agents uncover is the foundational system itself. It relies on the silence of the victims, the indifference of the officers, and the acceptance of the public to continue functioning. By its conclusion, the show offers a new way to understand what it means to be a deserter. The term applies to a society that turns a blind eye to this suffering, accepting the destruction of its youth as a necessary cost of building character. When families and neighbors view this abuse as a rite of passage, they desert the very people they claim to support. The psychological toll of standing by while others suffer is universal. DP uses the specific context of the Korean military to provide a stark warning about the cost of institutional apathy in any society. If you want to see more deep dives into how television reflects our societal truths, subscribe and join a conversation in the comments. Thanks for watching.